Welcome, this is SDSU-Tube. It's our weekly video blog covering Jackrabbit Athletics with Thomas Wilfred Nieman. I'm David Andrew Brown. Tommy, Jacks put up 59 points against Western Illinois in a 59-24 romp in the snow. Where did this offensive explosion come from?
It's been boiling all season and just came to a head finally. You knew that it were going to be record set this year by the Jackrabbits. By all these offensive guys they had coming back as seniors with Zenner and Sumner and Jason Schneider. You didn't think it would be Jake Winicky, but he sets a record as well. Just getting Sumner back. All these big plays are starting to come again now with Zenner ripping off some long runs in the last couple of games. And Sumner with 6 touchdowns in this game against Western Illinois. Just peaking at the right time now with Sumner back in the lineup.
Yeah, with Sumner being out for essentially 2 months, do you think now it's almost, not that you want to say a guy getting hurt is an advantage, but that he's fresher now, that maybe that'll help them should they make the playoffs?
Yeah, probably a little bit. I mean, Zach Lujan did an outstanding job filling in for those 7 games. Jacks go 5-2 with Lujan in the lineup. But Sumner, as he told us this week, he wasn't just sitting around for 8 weeks. He didn't go home and sit on the couch and eat potato chips for 8 weeks. You know, he was working out. He was part of the team, and I think he's probably, fresher, obviously, than he would be if he'd have been beaten up for those 8 weeks. But he looked really good in this game against Western Illinois, and the Jacks offense is really starting to come around.
59 points, the most points the Jacks have scored in a game since 2005, most points in any Missouri Valley Conference game this year, and most points in any Missouri Valley Conference game ever for South Dakota State since they joined back in 2008. Of course, the big weekend this weekend, it's Rivalry Week. USD, South Dakota Coyotes come to Coughlin Alumni Stadium on Saturday. We have it live on Midco Sports Network, 1 o'clock pregame show for an hour, then kickoff at 2 o'clock and a half-hour postgame. But speaking of the game, the Oats, not to make fun, but they are statistically the worst team in the Valley. They have the worst record. SDSU should win this game to hopefully get them a chance at the playoffs.
They should, and the Jackrabbits are taking it as they should, as just preparing as if USD was as good as anybody else right now. The Coyotes don't have a win in the Valley right now, so it's kind of a scary game in that way for South Dakota State. But Stig, from him on down to everybody, to Siravatka, the kicker, and everybody else, they're just taking it as we need to win this game. We're going to prepare like we have every week. If we do win, we should get in the FCS playoffs. I mean, there's all kinds of bad predictions out there right now of what's going to happen. But the Jacks, if they would win, most likely would get into the playoffs. So they do have to win this game. And it's a rivalry game. You don't want to lose to these guys right now.
No.
So the Jacks are going to be prepared.
You mentioned sort of those playoff possibilities. Right now there are 4 teams who could possibly finish 8-4 in that conference should all of them win on Saturday. North Dakota State and Illinois State are the locks to make the playoffs right now. But this is do you think it is a win-and-in scenario?
I really do. Northern Iowa's probably going to win. They would still be tied with the Jacks. Youngstown State's probably going to lose to North Dakota State, but that would leave Indiana State and UNI and South Dakota State all with the same record behind Illinois State.
And of course, they've all beaten one another.
And they've all been beating each other up. But you see a lot of projections out there right now that Valley will get 5 teams into the playoffs. If they don't, if it is 4, and you've got Indiana State and South Dakota State tied, I don't know how you can take Indiana State over the Jacks since the Jacks beat Indiana State. So, yes, I do. I think if they win, they get in.
And, of course, even though with UNI has wins over both NDSU and Illinois State, SDSU beat Northern Iowa as well. So how you could leave the Jacks out of that playoff equation if they do end up winning and finishing 8-4 is beyond me. So let's just assume. It's not safe to make assumptions because we know what assume means. It makes a you-know-what out of you and me. But let's assume they get in.
Yeah.
Can they do some damage?
I think they're playing better now than they have all year. Yes. Had that stretch. They played very well at Northern Iowa when they won that game, but they are playing better right now than they have all year. The offense is obviously clicking. Jason Schneider's great on one side. Winicky's great on the other side. Zenner is Zenner. Sumner is really looking good right now. The offensive line is molding together a little bit more than they were during the early season. And the defense as well. Interceptions in the last couple of games. They've been winning the turnover battle. The defense is playing well too. Jacks are playing about as good as they can right now at the right time. Yeah.
All right. Well, we will see what happens this Saturday, 1 o'clock pregame right here on Midco Sports Network. Game at 2 o'clock, half-hour postgame show. Thomas Wilfred, David Andrew. We'll see you next week.